r/ask Reddit. Mall Santas of Reddit. What is the weirdest thing a kid asked for Christmas? Reindeer eggs so he could start his own franchise. My buddy worked as a mall Santa and quit after one day. He enjoyed 2 kids punching him in the balls, 1 baby vomiting on his chest, and 1 kid pissing his pants while sitting in his lap. It soaked through and he felt it, warm and wet on his thigh. But he did get to say fuck this shit. I quit, while wearing a Santa suit. So it wasn't a total loss. A piece of toast. I'm a teacher. I had one of my most difficult, obstinate, button pusher kids come in at recess to talk to me. He said he was worried he would not get what he really wanted, to be a real elf, move to the North Pole and make all the presents. He had tears in his eyes and was the most sincere I had ever seen. Made me really appreciate how hard life was at home. He just wished for a way out. Not a mall Santa, my friend was one. He said that the weirdest thing he heard from a kid was a husband for his mom. Obligatory not me, but about one of my really good friends is a lumberjack of a man. 6'4", 250 plus, giant beard type of man. He got a Christmas crop top sweater so his entire stomach was out. Got hammered. Went to the mall and asked Santa for a 5th of whiskey and some bad bitches lol. The video circulates a little more each year but it makes me laugh every time because the Santa has no idea how to react. Edit. Here is the video. I worked in Russia as Snow Maiden. This is a Christmas character here. Santa Claus' granddaughter. One of the children in a wheelchair asked to walk again. It was hard. UPD. For peoples. Who wanted funny answer? In my practice was a boy. Who wanted a girlfriend? He was 5-6 years. I was an assistant manager for a mall Santa with no programs. There was a special needs 20-something black guy that would come by nearly every day. He easily weighed more than 250 pounds so we did eventually convince him to sit next to Santa instead of on his lap. Every time he had to remind Santa what he wanted for Christmas. His list was Home Alone on DVD, Straight Outta Compton on DVD, and Prince's 1999 album on CD. Santa was awesome and brought him the Prince CD a few days before Christmas. Not a Santa, but when I was 4 I asked Santa to get rid of my dad's cancer. Santa cried. Mom cried. I was confused. Dad died on Christmas that year. I'm not a mall Santa, but I heard this kid say, "Sex doll." You should have seen his parents' face. So I'm from the Netherlands. And we have Sinterklaas, basically the origin from Santa. It had some controversy worldwide last couple of years, and one kid wanted a gun. We have strict gun laws. No way that's gonna happen. I'm Santa at parties and wandering around the neighborhood. The toughest was having a little girl wanted her father home from prison. That was awkward and I had to promise her that although some presents take several years to get, they are the most worth it when it happens. Added the usual assurance that her daddy missed her and loved her. It's a lot easier when they want Barbies. Not weird. But a kid once asked for his mom back. I quit after that. I once asked for an elf to keep as a slave. I once asked Santa for my parents to get a divorce. The only pet I ever had was a goldfish. So I rolled no. A Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot range model air rifle. I don't have a story. Just wanted to share that my local mall will have a Santa that can speak sign language for kids hard of hearing completely deaf. I think that's absolutely wonderful and it makes my heart feel warm. When I was a kid I asked for a Komodo dragon. I once had a boy who said he wanted to be married and have 100 kids so he could have 100 friends. And no one can say no to being his friend. Not technically a mall Santa, but my neighbor was a Santa for a community brunch years ago and a little girl asked for a cheeseburger. Not that odd on its own I suppose, but an odd request for the holiday and from such an important and magically being. I'm not a mall Santa. I'm the thing that the kid asked for. My sister asked for a sibling. 9 months later, she got her gift. Me. She should have asked for a different gift. I worked as an elf when I was 15. One kid asked for a new liver. Apparently he was healthy. Just wanted one to play with and stuff. After waiting 2 hours in line, my daughter asked Santa for a hot dog. I know the weirdest thing I asked for was a pen that could write like a pen, pencil, marker, and crayon. I'd never seen one but was sure Santa could make it. I got a 4-color pen instead. You fuck my mom, Santa? There was a joke a radio host told that I heard about 10 years ago or so, and there was a mall Santa and this kid. And the kid wanted a Tonka truck that had a hitch or crane hook or something. And when it comes time to tell Santa what he wants, the kid says, I want a truck with a hooker. Not a mall Santa, but my younger brother asked Santa if he could bring our parents back together into a marriage. He asked for new eyes. Thought I misheard him. In the whole rush and bustle of activity, I hadn't even really looked at the boy. Now, tilting my head down, I stared into his hollow orbits, underneath which he gave a serene smile. I literally screamed and instinctively tossed him from my lap. He stumbled onto one of my elves who had a similar reaction. I felt like such a piece of shit after only a few seconds had passed. The parents, who also had no eyes, were furious. Especially the father, who threatened to sue. But the boy just whispered sadly, "It's okay, Dad. In another life." Not a mall Santa, but a child asked for his parents to love him dearly. It's weird how young kids know so much and can pick up signals easy. Mental. A human skull. This one time a grown man came and sat on my lap. I thought maybe he had some sort of learning disability, so I went with it. When I asked him what he wanted for Christmas, things took a turn. He had this haunted look in his eyes as he stared at me. He asked me if I'd fucked his mom. I was confused but managed to stammer out a what. He just grew more and more aggravated as he continued to yell louder and louder, "Did you fuck my mom?" As his energy seemed to climax, he leaned forward and bit my neck. His buddy dragged him off of me and I didn't see what happened to them. The scene was absolute chaos. People were running in all directions to the sounds of screaming and crying. I even saw one woman unconscious on the floor. Needless to say, this my last time working as a mall Santa. Also, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I have fucked that man's mom. I saw one ask for Santa's corpse while I was at the mall. Worked as a photographer for a mall Santa. It's not that weird. But my favorite moment was when a kid asked for a live octopus or shark. Santa said he wasn't sure if his elves would be able to make those. Kid said he'd settle for a giant squid if he had to. My uncle was a Santa and he told me that one year a kid asked for a coffee maker because he wanted to start his own Starbucks coffee stand instead of a lemonade stand. Apparently business was not very good as a lemonade stand, but he noticed a lot of adults drink coffee. So he'd make coffee. That kid is probably a millionaire now. Not a Santa. Not even an elf. But my older sister is an elf this year. And a 6-year-old boy said that he just wanted Man United to win the league. What's best is that the Santa said, "I can't work miracles now, kid." For me to stop upholding this charade. Worked as an elf for a couple years and we had this wish jar that you could put slips of paper in. A little girl wrote something down on a piece of paper and folded it and quietly slipped it into the jar. The mom came rushing back after they left, asking if we could get the paper out of the jar for her. She unfolded it and in crayon it said, "I want Dad to come home." The mother started crying and took it with her. Got some other weird and sad ones, but that one hit me right in the feels. Not me, but my dad. A kid asked for his mom's milk. He was like 7. When he was feeling better, my Phil looked just like a real Santa. I used to mess with him around Christmas when we were out and about with a quick "Rudolph needs to get back to the pole. We need to hurry." I got a lot of really great looks from kids. The best was a shy little girl that came up and asked for some specific doll. Without missing a beat, he says, "I'm not sure what the heck that is, but I'll have Legolas look into it." He always acted grumpy about it, but we all know he loved every second. Not a mall Santa, but once my sister asked Santa if she could have a horse's head and an ice cream cone. She explained that she was gonna paint the ice cream cone the color of the horse, stick it on, mount the horse's head to the wall and tell her friends she killed a unicorn. She doesn't remember. I remember hearing the girl in front of me in line when I was at the mall as a kid say she wanted potatoes. I hated potatoes at the time. So I was repulsed. Not the weirdest, but my favorite thing I have heard a kid ask for. At my daughter's preschool, there was a Santa. Kids were asking for the usual things, like toys and unicorns. One little girl goes up. You can tell she is thinking really hard. She asks for 2 rolls of tape. Dream big, kid. Not a Santa, but I personally remember once asking for a goat and a sniper rifle. Many years ago, a small girl would not tell her mother what she wanted for Christmas. Mom told me the problem and I was to tell her after the kid jumped off my lap. The little girl hopped up and told me she wanted some makeup and some tits. Okay, now I have to tell mom. My 9-year-old kid asked for light bulbs. I am sure Santa wasn't expecting that. During college, I was a department store Santa. One little girl, with her mother looking on at a distance, whispered, "Please bring a boyfriend for mommy. Ever since daddy died she's been so lonely. That's what I really want for Christmas, Santa." I looked up at her loving mother, and back at the girl, and felt a lump in my throat. So literally last night we took my kids to see Santa, and when asked what she wants for Christmas she says, "A surprise." Santa was so surprised he didn't know what to say. Was a Santa at a party last week. A kid asked for a whistle that she could blow at night to wake her mom up and scare her when she was sleeping. I said no. That would put you on the naughty list. Let your mom sleep, you little gremlin. Mom laughed. Once as I was working, an Indian couple asked me to bless their newborn baby. I think they might have taken Saint Nick seriously. That was weird awkward. Other than that it was 98 or 99, so I learned just about every Pokemon out there. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that star button for more high quality content.